Welcome into an episode of the Buzzbeat Podcast, a special Saturday Night Live Summer League Championship bound Charlotte Hornets edition of the Buzzbeat Podcast. I am Matt Alkiza. I am joined here to talk about the Hornets' road to this point, the blowout victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. We're starting this recording with 2 minutes left in the game, with the Hornets up by 30, 104-74. Really just an impressive game on both ends from the Hornets. They dominated from the opening tip-off all the way to now to clinch a spot in Sunday night's Summer League Championship game. And I'm joined here by James Plowright. James, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling completely unprepared. I was not ready for a Summer League Championship run in July. I famously predicted in the Buzzbeat Slack, I thought this team would go like 2-4 in total because there were just so many rookies. And this team, man, this might even not even be the most talented team Charlotte have had, but like by far the smartest, just execution, defensive hustle. I mean, they've just throttled two teams in a row. Like, even if they'd not played well offensively, which they have, they probably still would have won both these last two games because they've just like kept teams completely out the paint, forced guys to take a lot of jump shots. It really has been a clinic in just how to like play together as a team. So I love to see this team doing it. And I like seeing, these guys like MJ Walker, Jalen Sims. Like, of course, we'd all love to see T. John Salon and Lee McNeely and Sion James, but those guys are injured. And these other guys who are stepping up are getting a real platform to go out there and play and potentially, earn a spot either in Europe, in the G League, in the league, maybe with Charlotte. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. And look, there's been enough like good play from the draft picks too. I think we can get excited for. But this is the first ever finals appearance the Buzzbeat Pod has covered.
First playoff game the Buzzbeat Pod has covered.
Yep.
If I know Buzzbeat lore, I'm pretty sure this podcast started after the Hornets last made the playoffs in 2016. It was like that following fall of 2016 is when this podcast started. So yeah, we're breaking the seal of a playoff podcast for Buzzbeat, just practicing for the real thing down the line whenever that comes. So let's dive into the game tonight, James. My first question, we'll start with Canipple. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. We didn't talk after Charlotte beat the Spurs to clinch their spot in the Summer League playoffs. Talk to me a bit about Canipple, what you saw tonight, what you've seen from him in these past 2 Summer League games as he's continued his upward trajectory after his disappointing opening outing.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's not shot the ball incredibly well, and he still looked like one of the best players on the floor as a rookie. And that speaks volumes to his all-round skill set. And like we know the shot is going to fall, especially some of the opens ones he's missed, right? I can understand if they're like really tough looks, but he's getting open looks. He's just not hitting them down at a great clip yet. Look,
he's making the tough ones. It's the crazy part. True. It's like some of those step backs he's hit have been like Devin Booker-esque, just some incredible shots he's hit.
Yeah. Defensively, I mean, they didn't really go at Con tonight. Like in the last 2 games, everyone's been just going at Canipple every time, and he's made them pay. Tonight, looked like OKC'd watched the film and been like, we're going to attack like elsewhere. We're going to go at MJ Walker. We're going to go at Jalen Sims. But again, I thought he was really good defensively tonight. I thought he moved the ball well, especially early. Like Charlotte was struggling to get in the paint for OKC. And some of the few times they did was when Canipple hit Kulkrunner a couple of rolls. He makes that like late leading pass so well. Like just you don't really see it there until he makes the play. And Kulkrunner's like has pretty good hands. I think we've seen that here, and he's able to have a good catch radius. And like he's drawing a lot of fouls as well. What do you have tonight? Like 5 free throws. Like getting where he needs to. He's not got an incredible. Well, actually, you know what? I think he does have a sneaky good step. Like even though he's not athletic, he's able to get past guys and get into the lane and like say just get to spots that he needs to get. So I don't know if it's speed. I don't know if it's manipulation. But he's just doing all the things that we saw on film and probably a couple of things at even high level, like you say, some of the off-dribble shot making. So I thought it was probably not quite as good as the last game, which I felt like Con completely ran. But again, another really solid performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing exactly the way that you want your 4th overall pick to play in Summer League. If they're still on the floor at this point in the tournament, the Summer League, tournament, then you want them to control the game on both ends. You want them to find a way to score efficiently, find ways to get to the line, make plays to teammates. Like Khan is, like you said, he's showing every single thing that his film at Duke showed. And he's just playing it at such a high level. I think you tweeted this during the Spurs game that in that second quarter where the Hornets went on like a 20-0 run or whatever it wound up being, that Khan just like totally controlled the game on both ends, like walling off drivers, getting his hands on the ball when he was getting attacked, setting up his teammates. He had one play. You talk about the like last second manipulative passing. They're like on the fast break. He is so good at like timing his like kickouts on drives for when the help defender like gets their leverage just a little bit too far in his direction. I can't remember. I think it was Carter Bryant maybe like slid over to try to stop Khan in a fast break. It's like the second his right foot hit the nail and he had no chance of recovering to the wing, Khan like then dished the pass out. And it was just like perfect, like metronomic timing to get the ball where it needed to be, when it needed to be there. And it led to an open 3-pointer in transition. It's just like little things like that are just perfect with him.
You may be talking about something I'm currently working an article on that the art of the late pass, which like is just everyone's like he's going to shoot it, he's going to shoot it. Oh, he's passed it, and he like drops it on the money every single time. Just incredible feel. Like that's the kind of stuff you just really can't teach. Like 90% of guys try that, and they're turning it over. And I don't think he's turned it over, or he turned it over once. I think when he kind of did like an auto read pass out in maybe his first game to the corner, and there was no one there. But yeah, look, Con's been great. I'm interested to see if he plays the next game. Obviously, he exited the game in the third quarter tonight after picking up a small cut, I think it was, somewhere above like his right eye. There wasn't a huge amount of blood. It to me looks like something could be, stitched up or glued together pretty quickly. The question is, right, earlier in Summer League when the Hornets had a back-to-back, Canipple was rested. And it's part of his like return to play recovery after an ankle injury, which he suffered in the pre-draft process. Can they do that again with a championship game? What do you think? I mean, Con's going to be desperate to play, right?
I think they all are, man. I think McNeely, I think Tijan. I don't know how hurt those guys are. Sion, I think those guys are all going to like be pounding the table to get out there, but.
I think those guys, you can make the argument like, hey, these other guys got them here in these last two games. Like, let's not disrupt what we've got. But Con's been a huge part of that. Like, he's been probably the top two players on the court the last two games. But it's like it's hard to be like, yeah, I want to hear we want to change the culture, we want to win, and then if you go out and you don't play Canipple for like recovery. But like it's a difficult question, right? It is a meaningless Summer League championship. There might be rings, there might be Summer League banner that you hang in like a guest lobby somewhere, not out in the open in Spectrum Center. But I just don't know what they're going to do with it. I think it's actually a difficult decision for them. I wonder if they're wrestling with it themselves.
Yeah, I thought they were going to shut Khan down after his good game. Was that against Philly? Or the third game, or Utah, whatever game Khan came out and played really well. I thought that was going to be his last game, and then he showed up and balled out against the Spurs, and then played well again tonight. So, I at this point I was burned by saying this last week. I'll say it now. I think he will not play tomorrow night. And I think they'll let some of the younger guys maybe have Damian Boss slide into the starting lineup and run a little 2-point guard system with KJ. But speaking of KJ Simpson, just sublime all summer league. He did it again tonight. I was very impressed with KJ's like full floor game tonight. The jumper has been the selling point for him in summer league. It's been what he's relied on. But tonight, 0-4 from 3. Didn't matter. He still found a way to, I mean, he like stuffed the stat sheet, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Like he was just all over the place tonight. And my favorite thing, and I tweeted about this, was they showed the mic'd up segment. I think it was early in the fourth quarter. And the first thing they show is KJ walking over to Ryan Kulkrunner and says, hey, teaching moment. Like, you can't hold the ball that long. Move it or they're going to come strip it from you. Yeah. He is like a coach on the floor, like in every sense of the word. And that was really on full display tonight. I love that he found ways to impact the game without his shot falling specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I'm like taking notes during all these games, and my Canipple notes are like super long. And my KJ Simpson notes for all the games are pretty short because like he doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and he's hitting open shots, he's making good distributions. I still think at times like he over dribbles the ball a little bit. There was a couple of moments tonight. There was one where he kind of got layup, even though he dribbled the ball for about 15 seconds before it. And I was like, I didn't love that play, even though he ended up scoring on it. There was another one where like I felt Kulkrunner was wide open for a lob. I was like, if Con had the ball there, he's hitting him and it's an easy 2 points. And KJ went for a floater and it kind of missed. But like you say, didn't score the ball tonight. Like he's gonna have to shoot the ball, and he has this summer league, but didn't go in tonight. But 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Still like didn't have any steals or blocks tonight, but he's been consistent on both sides of the ball all the way through this, and really has been like the leader for this team. Like they've not turned the ball over a ton. He's had them really well organized on offense. This has been like really good team basketball. They're not just getting carried by one guy. It's been a different guy every night leading this team and scoring. So I've been really impressed, just like steady improvement with KJ, and it's been consistent as well. It's not been like a good game, bad game. He's been pretty consistent with his impact. Yeah, like 10 rebounds. He's like a 6-foot guard, and he's like led the team in rebounding, I want to say, in 2 of the Summer League games this year. Yeah, which is just really impressive. And like you have to find ways to impact the game like that. So yeah, really impressed with KJ. Hope he's able to keep it rolling here, especially after like the injury-filled year he had last year. Didn't play Summer League last year. So yeah, more good stuff. Making good decisions, playing both sides of the ball. This is exactly what you wanted to see from KJ Simpson.
It's just huge for him and his long-term NBA future, whether or not it is in Charlotte. Teams are always looking for like a table-setting point guard that they can trust to have the ball in their hands for stretches of time. Charlotte right now has 5 or 6 guys that can do that when the NBA season tips off. But KJ has put so much good film out there this summer. Even at the end of last year, I was pretty impressed with some of KJ's games. He was like a little bit hit or miss, but again, small guard, first year in the NBA, thrust into this primary playmaking role that he did not need to have like towards the, like down the stretch of last season, but still had some impressive games. I liked what I saw, and he like has parlayed that into this summer where he's looked really impressive over the stretch of these 5 games.
Yeah, and one thing he's done a really good job on throughout all these games is he has drawn a ton of fouls at the top of the 3-point arc. Like he doesn't show up on the stat sheet because a lot of them are kind of like early in the quarter when the Hornets aren't in the bonus. But he's been really physical, like defending the ball with his body, and also like knowing when a guy's being over aggressive and like, hey, I'm going to just bait this guy here into a foul by showing him the ball a little bit or driving into his like his weak foot, which he might have backpedaled at some point. And there's just like little things, right? Just those little smarts, like just picking up fouls in the team so that you're in the bonus earlier. Like that's the kind of vet thing that when you're a rookie, you're so worried about like, oh, what am I doing right? You're not thinking about that kind of like second level to the game. It's what Chris Paul's been so great at, right? Like when it got into the bonus, Chris Paul would just go into like a different game mode to try and draw fouls. But yeah, it's just another thing I've noticed that was really stood out to me.
Yeah, I asked Chris Gent about this before the team left for Vegas about what it means for Charlotte to have a veteran point guard, veteran, quote unquote. KJ is in his second year in the league, but he played like 3 or 4 years in college. So he's a little bit older, just the kind of guy that, you know, can get your offense organized, that when the summer league games get frenetic, and we saw Oklahoma City pressed the whole 4th quarter tonight when they were down 30, KJ came back into the game and just like steadied the waters. Like things were starting not go off the rails for Charlotte at all. The lead went cut from like 30 to 23. But then if KJ comes in, he can beat the press, he can handle the ball up the floor, he's going to make like good sound decisions. And even, you know, we talked about the like over dribbling, looking for a shot too much. Those are just like really small nitpicky things that I've noted as well that I'm willing to like give him a pass on, because the entire floor game has been good for him for like 95% of summer league.
I think, look, if you can shoot the ball, if you can defend at the level that he's shown in Summer League, if that translates to the NBA where he's a pesky ball defender and he can shoot the ball at a high clip from beyond the arc and he can like handle it and not turn it over, that's probably enough for him to be an NBA player. It might not be an every night rotation player, but it might be someone you're happy to go to. You don't see like that really manipulative, like playmaking passing that maybe someone like Con has or LaMelo. Like we've seen, like I don't think he's going to learn that. Which when you're like a 6'7" guard, some of those guys do have that, like because that's one of the ways they can get on the floor. I think he's going to be more of a like Jose Alvarado TJ McConnell,
TJ
where
McConnell,
it's
yeah.
just like he's going to bring that intensity on both sides, a scoring punch, and like will make probably pretty simple reads for a point guard. Yeah. I think that's probably what we're going to be getting from KJ Simpson.
Yep, and it's the leadership as well. Like it's
Yeah,
one thing to like have that skill set and be able to like impact games on the floor, but it's the like rallying your teammates in the huddle, giving your like young players like teaching points like in between possessions. Like that's just like another level that I feel like KJ has over a lot of guys that come into the league his size that try to stick. So like
yeah.
Charles Lee pointed that out towards the end of last season as well. So yeah, really another like solid game from KJ. Ryan Kulkrunner, the other like draft pick that played tonight. Thoughts on his overall game? My first note when watching the game tonight was they did not really play Kalkbrenner like on a big man. They had him guarding whoever was in the corner and just letting him roam, which I thought was interesting. His biggest defensive deficiency is when he gets switched in onto the perimeter in the pick and roll, and they just completely like did not let that happen tonight, which I thought was interesting and a cool way to deploy him. And I think there are going to be games where Charlotte plays like a team that has a couple of non-shooters. I think of Detroit last year when they had Ron Holland kind of stand in the corner, and he actually ended up hitting 4 or 5 threes against Charlotte. But when they play a team like that, that's an interesting way to deploy Kalkbrenner to mitigate some of his weaknesses, and that was on display tonight.
Yeah, and they've done it in a few games here. Like they're putting him on. I think they put him on Carter Bryant a bit in the Spurs game as well. Kind of putting him on guys I think whose shot is kind of a little bit unproven, or where there's a little bit. Hey, this guy went 0-5 in the last game. Like Brooks Barnhiser's missed a bunch of threes this summer league. So they're doing it strategically, right? It's not just on anyone. I think Carter Bryant had struggled to shoot the ball before that Hornets game, and then he did get going actually. But like you saw some of the benefits of it. He had a couple of big kind of weak side blocks in this game where he was able to kind of come over and roam. Like they had him on Josiah Gortman a bunch, who's like a really shifty guard. And that was like a little one-on-one battle within the game where it was like Gortman knowing, hey, I'm getting guarded by this guy who's not moving from outside the paint. And I think Gortman got him maybe once on like a step through. And then I think Kalkbrenner got him the next 3 times. So it's like he won that little battle 3-on-1. And it's just like an example of how this Hornets defense is like putting the other team in positions where it's like, yeah, you're going to have to isolate on the 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Like, good luck with that, winning that more than 50% of the time. You're right. Like KJ Simpson was absolutely right. He got caught with the ball a few times, like standing with it, holding it a little bit too long. I think even, I interviewed Ryan Kalkbrenner this week. You can go read it on Charlotte Culture. It's up there now. And one of the things he said he's adjusting to is the 24-second shot clock speed of the game. And I think you can see that out on the floor. Like at times he wants to hold the ball, look around, and like at times it was like 8 seconds left on the clock. And you're like, hey, Ryan, like you've got to get into something here. And you're standing 25 foot out with the ball, like not really doing anything. I think that will come, but it's definitely been something that's been consistent in these games. And like opponents have got their hands on the ball quite a bit with that. Yeah, we saw another 3-point shot attempt tonight. It wasn't the prettiest from Kalkbrenner. But like
it took almost 24 seconds of the shot clock to get it off. Like his release is slow. Like it took him a long time to get that one up.
And he's not put up good if you just like surf the box scores, right? You look at this and go, Kalkbrenner's like 4 rebounds a game, a block and a half, like 8 points a game. It doesn't look special at all. All I can say is I've never seen a center prospect probably affect the game as much as Ryan Kalkbrenner without it necessarily showing up on the stat sheet for the Hornets. That is, like, he's just going to be, I think, one of those players, at least early in his career, where the numbers aren't going to look great, but probably like all the defensive metrics are going to look really good when he's on the floor, all the opponent shooting percentages, because he just changes a ton out there. Like he had a good step through as well to force a steal in this game. He just has a really good little sense. Like he bumps people when they come through the lane. He does all those like little things to control that paint. And he's been a big part of this really good Hornets Summer League defense, even though it's not showing up on the stat sheet a lot.
Yeah, and it was kind of like that at Creighton too. I mean, he obviously put up fantastic stats at Creighton. He, like you said, 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. You don't do that if you're not blocking a bunch of shots. But the advanced metrics of like a number of shots at the rim when he was on the floor versus off, like teams just did not attack the paint when he was on the floor in Creighton. And you saw that a little bit tonight. I like that wrinkle we talked about of him guarding like a non-shooter where he can just roam, and you see his impact like in those moments. He's not blocking a ton of shots, but you see smaller guards, you see wings kind of like take a half second to think before they put a shot up when he is there. And then on offense, I tweeted this after rewatching the Spurs game. He's just so good as a screener. He is an absolute giant out there, like just swallowing up guards like all over the perimeter. And in this Charlotte like 5-out offense where they run a lot of these like flare screens or these like Spain actions where he has to like set good screens, it's a very useful skill that I think will translate to the next level. There are some things, KJ talked about him, holding onto the ball for too long. I feel like when he does pass the ball, like he's a pretty good passer. I feel like he processes the game like at a decent level for somebody his size. You can tell that he's played a lot of high-level basketball in the Big East. Like he'll make a pass here and there that is like, you raise your eyebrows a little bit because it's like a good pass for a 7-foot whatever guy that he is. Just need to see him do it more, and you just see him do it on a more consistent basis. But yeah, like you said, the statistical output isn't anything special. He's not going to make an all summer league team because he's putting up these crazy stats, but his impact is definitely felt in the game more than it is on the box score. So before we go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, even though like he's not made a bunch of bad decisions, like, oh, he shouldn't have thrown that pass, or, oh, he set a stupid moving screen. Oh, that was a bad foul. Like, again, like pretty mistake free with what he's doing, apart from like, say, holding the ball too long. So he's not overcomplicating it either. He's just doing like the little big man things. There's been the odd jump hook here and there, which have not been great. Like they've looked pretty unbalanced. Like anytime he's gone for that, the defense looked pretty thrilled. And it's annoying because like he's got the size, he's got the length. You feel like, hey, this should be an okay look for you. But it's looked pretty unbalanced so far.
Yeah, I haven't liked any offense that he's created on his own. Any offense for himself that he's created on his own. He's looked pretty good, like diving out of the pick and roll, catching and finishing. I think he's been strong doing that. But any like post touch for Ryan Kulkrunner has like ended poorly, it feels like to me. Before we move on to previewing a Summer League championship game that the Hornets will play in tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern, anything else? Yeah. Pump it up in here. What a time to be alive. It's the middle of July and we're talking about Hornets championship game. It's crazy.
Look, let's just be honest here, right? If they win, is there a banner? Is there a Summer League banner? Does that exist?
I feel confident that a Summer League banner gets hung in the practice facility somewhere. I don't know if like the Kings this would be the Kings' third Summer League championship. They've kissed on the broadcast tonight. I don't know if they have one hanging up, but I would hang a Summer League championship banner in the practice facility or even in Greensboro, wherever they practice. Like those are like the guys that really impacted this team are the ones that are grinding in Greensboro, grinding for a spot in practice. So you look up and see that, and you know that if you're trying hard, this is what you're working for.
If the Hornets really wanted to like kind of win one night in social media world in the NBA, they should just like fully lean into it. Do you know how to like opening night, like presentation, like everyone ceremony, like bringing the ex-players out, like national anthem sung by like the biggest star out of Charlotte. They should do it all tongue in cheek, right? Knowing that it's a little bit like, hey, we're doing this for fun, but like, what else have we had to celebrate for the last few years? That would be like a funny way, I think, of like leaning into it.
Every player gets their ring handed to them by like a former Hornets Summer League legend. Like Matt Morgan hands his KJ Simpson his ring, or like Xavier Simpson hands his to Canipple. Just like you go down the list of the Hornets guys that played really well in Summer League.
And I think the Hornets fans would even get into that because it's like
eat that up. Yes.
Yeah, it would be like a really clever little marketing ploy for them to do this. Like, yeah. Anyway, but before they do that, we gotta beat a pretty good Sacramento Kings Summer League team here. So
before we go there, anything else on the game tonight? Anybody that you want to call out, highlight?
We should call out Jalen Sims.
Absolutely.
Had a great game. 25 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Got the Hornets off to a scorcher to start. I think it was 3 from 3 in the first 5 minutes of the game. Shot the ball really well. And he's like looked good at every stop. Whenever I watch him for the Swarm, he looks good. When he came up to Charlotte last year, towards the end of the year, he looked good. He's looked pretty good in this Summer League as well. Like last game, his shot didn't fall, but I think he like rebounded and passed and like 4 steals in the game. Just looks like a pretty reliable wing player who can score the ball. MJ Walker's had moments as well. Like I always feel good when he's going to shoot the ball. Damian Barr had another strong game tonight, almost had a triple-double, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. This is a real team effort. We didn't even mention your guy, PJ Hall. I mean,
it's great.
Last 2 games, he started a bit shaky, PJ Hall, but last 2 games, he's really popped. Like I said, this is a deep Hornets Summer League team. They're missing 3 players, and like, you know, Damian Barr might not even be playing if Sion James was healthy. And like, he can't really score it that efficiently, but he's played really well and he's made a winning impact on these games.
Yeah, I mean, I think people will at some point begin to roll their eyes when they hear the words Hornets DNA. And I've had those moments at some point over the last year since Charles Lee and Jeff Peterson took over. But this is it, man. Like, this is what they've been talking about for the last like year plus that Charles Lee and Jeff Peterson have been in charge together. It's guys like playing hard for 48 minutes, playing for each other, picking each other up off the floor, playing like hard-nosed defense. It's starting on that end. There was a possession against the Spurs where I think the Hornets got 5 deflections in like one 24-second possession for San Antonio. And it's like the guys that are fighting for their like basketball lives, like the MJ Walker is diving on the floor. Like, is it DJ Rodman, PJ Rodman? I don't even know his first name. But yeah, he was diving on the floor when the Hornets were up 30 tonight in the fourth quarter for a loose ball. Like Jalen Sims doing it on both ends, getting his hand in passing lanes, playing tough nose defense. Like, there's been a real like evolution to his offensive game in summer league. Like I've seen a couple of like step throughs and decel steps and Euro steps, and the jumpers looked really good. Like like you said, it's a whole team effort from top to bottom, unselfish, egoless basketball on offense. Like it's been like, this is what what a winning like organization feels like from top to bottom. At top, maybe not yet. There's a long way to go for like the top of the organization to become like a winning outfit, but like you're seeing it like in the grassroots parts of this, like the way that this team is playing, you hope parlays itself into training camp. And in October, when the like regular season tips off, playing with this level of effort and intensity.
And I don't know who was on the call tonight, but one of them saying that they knew Jeff Peterson quite well. And
so it was Corey Alexander,
yeah, that's right. And he was saying like the thing Charlotte really looking for is winners, guys who've won at high school, won at college. And you know what that made me think as soon as I heard that? I was like, man, that's what Michael Jordan tried to do for like 10 years in Charlotte, was draft winners. Maybe Michael Jordan was right, you know, just never wrong, just late, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not like some novel idea. Oh, right. Draft guys who win a lot. Like that kind of cliche, but I'm sure it's not as simple as just like, well, who had the highest winning percentage of high school and college? But it clearly shows that they brought in winners, but also guys who like are willing to sacrifice. And I think that's the big thing. I mean, again, in my interview with Ryan Kalkbrenner, just to pitch that again on Charlotte Culture, you can go read it. I asked him, like, what's like the biggest thing that stood out to you about Vegas? And I said it could be like meeting a celebrity, seeing someone at a game, going to an event. Like, what is it? And you know what he said? And you might think this is boring, but it shows. He's like, you know, the thing I've biggest been surprised by is how quickly we have come together as a team, because we've known each other for like 2 weeks, and like we've really come together way more than I was thinking. And I was like, of all the things going through this experience, it's actually like the camaraderie among the team, which is like, I did not lead him there in that question in any way. He took us there himself. And I think that you can see that out on the floor, right? There's just an unselfishness with this team.
That is the most boring what happened in Vegas story that anybody has ever had in the history of Vegas being what it is in the social stratosphere. Okay, let's talk tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Hornets Kings.
That's a late one, Matt. That's a late one for me. That's a 3 a.m. start.
That's you take whatever NyQuil melatonin deal you guys have over across the pond and go to bed at 8 o'clock. And wake up at 4 to catch tip for that. But let's talk. I didn't get a chance to watch the Kings Raptors game this afternoon, but I know that the Kings Summer League team has been fantastic, spearheaded by Devin Carter. Neat Clifford has looked like the pro that everyone thought he would be. Like a multi-year college player, really well-rounded game coming to the NBA. Maxime Reynaud has looked pretty good in Summer League, a guy the Hornets passed on, if you want to look at it that way, to draft Ryan Kulkrunner. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that game or much Kings this summer in general, but what should folks be looking at ahead of the game tomorrow night?
Well, look, the Kings have got so much Summer League championship experience. I mean, that's just a big factor coming into this one. Those two championships under their belt. That's just they're ahead. Has anyone on this team actually won a championship with the Kings? I don't think they have. Maybe Mason Jones. He might have once. He's been around this Kings team before. But no, in seriousness, I watched the second half tonight, where actually the Raptors kind of outplayed the Kings. The Kings almost blew the game right at the end. Like came back from 25 points down. The Raptors did. Like they've got a really good kind of 5 players. Neat Clifford, Devin Carter, Maxime Reynaud, Isaac Jones played extremely well. I think he had like 36 tonight.
36, yeah.
And Mason Jones, who's won like G League MVP maybe twice. That 5 is like that 5 has got a lot of experience and has played quite a lot of NBA minutes. I would probably say the Kings are the favorite heading into that game. I think I'm trying to think like where are they going to match Ryan Kalkbrenner up? All right, I don't think it'll be Reynaud. I think like maybe you put him on Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones is like this really high motor hustle. Like I'm just going to get inside and use my arms and legs and strength and athleticism to kind of like power into you and draw fouls. And I think Ryan Kalkbrenner can like deal with that type. And he also shoots the ball, but not very well. So I think again, I'm thinking, hey, they're going to try and lure Isaac Jones into like shooting 3-point jump shots. But Devin Carter and Neat Clifford, that's where it's going to have to start. Like KJ Simpson's going to be, having to be on one of those guys, probably on Devin Carter, trying to make life miserable. And then you're probably going to have Con, we think, on Neat Clifford, which should be, again, another really good
fun
matchup. I mean, he's had 2 really hard matchups, by the way. Carter Bryant and Brooks Barnhizer. Irrelevant of those 2 guys being rookies, probably 2 of the best defenders here at Summer League. Like, full stop. And it's weird, like their defense hasn't really shown up on Con because he doesn't over dribble the ball or like attack good defenders. He's just like, oh, I've got a good defender on me. I'm going to swing it, run through 3 screens, get a switch, and like I'll go against someone else. Like they've not been able to really slow him down. It's kind of weird. Like, when we see great defenders go on LaMelo, it looks hard for LaMelo, like, and he's dribbling, trying to get past them. And it's really different, but it's going to be another tough matchup with Neat Clifford.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a fun one. I hope that we get to see Con play tomorrow night. I have my doubts about that, but I do think a Con Neek Clifford like Summer League championship game matchup is like really is one for the draft sickos. Those that like spent a lot of time scouting this draft class. Like those are 2 guys that I feel like people really just kind of fell in love with in the scouting process. 2 guys that had fun like late season conference NCAA tournament runs. Squaring off tomorrow night will be something to watch for sure. But yeah, you're right. The Kings Summer League team is very good. And they have no reason to like shut any of those guys down. They don't have like a top 5 pick that they're looking to protect going into next season. It's all guys that were drafted late first, early second, some G League lifers, and guys that should play tomorrow night. So the Hornets are going to have their hands full. I tried to check while you were talking to see if there was a line out for the game yet, but I don't see one on ESPN to figure out if the Hornets are
They're waiting for Con news, right? That's what they're doing. They can't drop the line until they figure out if Con Canipple's playing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, something I think when I don't know if the Thunder like ruled out Topic or Mitchell at some point, but the Hornets were 3.5-point underdogs yesterday. Wow. For tonight, and they ended up 3.5-point favorites before tip-off. So,
I mean, this is a great position for what I call the emotional hedge, where you go bet on the Kings, and if the Kings win, you go, hey, it's Summer League, it didn't matter, and I won some money. And if you lose your bet, you go, hey, the Hornets just won a championship at Summer League. So go out there, get your emotional hedge on.
I found it. On FanDuel. There is a line.
Here we go. Can I guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to say Kings by 4.5.
Kings by 1.5. They must have some knowledge that Con just has a little scrape over his eye, not non-concussed, and is going to play tomorrow night.
Okay, 1.5. They were not really sure what to do with that one. One other thing to mention, like this OKC team tonight, we weren't really blessed with like a playmaking point guard. I mean, was Brooks Barnhizer playing point guard for them? I wasn't even sure in the end.
Yeah.
Who was playing point guard for them? Jazz Gortman, he finished like 2 assists and 4 turnovers. He's not really a point guard. This Kings team has like 3-point guards on the floor. Neat Clifford can play point guard. Devin Carter can play point guard. Mason Jones can play point guard. So again, like there's going to be a lot more guys you can like catch, swing, dribble in, play make, manipulate the defense. And they're also scoring threats as well. They're not just like pass first guys you don't need to respect the shot on, so you have to close out hard. So it's going to be a much bigger test for this Hornets defense. But like, hey, this team have surprised me and done well like every time so far. So I'm not ruling them out. But I do think they're probably underdogs, especially if they're not going to be fully healthy, which I don't anticipate. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't anticipate any of the guys who are out tonight coming back tomorrow. I just don't see that working.
No, I agree with you. All right, James, we can wrap it up there. Summer League championship game tomorrow night. Give me a quick prediction. Do the Hornets leave Vegas with a ring tomorrow night?
Well, I just kind of gave it away, but you know what? It's not very often we get to put on, the goggles of confidence, the goggles of fun. This is meaningless. I'm saying they do it. I'm saying they pull it off.
I love it.
I'm saying the defense suffocates the Kings. They're able to get turnovers, able to get out in transition. So I'm going for a Hornets championship. Plan the parade down the middle of Charlotte now.
Yep, I love it. 98-92, Hornets walk away with the championship. KJ Simpson closes it out with a couple of free throws down the stretch. And then the Hornets get the hero's welcome at Charlotte Douglas International Airport on Monday morning. And then they have the parade down Trade Street to follow. So that's it, James. This has been fun. This whole Summer League campaign has been a blast. It is going to, when we wake up on Monday morning and there is no one wearing a Charlotte Hornets jersey will step on a basketball court in even a quasi-competitive setting for 3 months. It's going to hit really hard after
3 months. It's going to be 3 months.
October, end of October. 3 months after tomorrow night. So enjoy it, folks. Enjoy it. James said it. It's very rare that we get a chance to like watch the Hornets play for something meaningful. That normally like goes away pretty quickly into the season, or at least it has over the last decade or so. So this will be a fun one. Don't be afraid to like let your fandom take over. Live and die for every possession. Put your jersey on when you sit down on the couch. Have a cup of coffee to stay up late. Like do the whole thing. Like it's been so long since the Hornets have played for anything, even semi-meaningful like this is. So it'll be fun one tomorrow night. I honestly can't wait. I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight. Tomorrow is going to drag on to watch this team play in a Summer League championship. It's going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be able to recap it on our normal show on Monday nights on the BuzzBeat feed, and we can get into some of the detail there. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, for James, this is Matt Alkiza. Thank you for hopping on here live or listening